784 or go to getCignaMedicare.com.
Let's face it, winters here in the Tennessee Valley, while they can be moderate with their temperatures, can certainly bring us an awful lot of rain. And if you have a home with a crawl space, that could be a problem. So we're so happy this morning to have Eric Gardner join us. He has volunteer Rid-a-Pest. Good to see you, Eric.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. It sounds like you're busier than ever, because typically we'd be talking to you about how all that water in your crawl space can bring bugs inside your house. We can still talk about that, but now you're expanding. You're doing encapsulations now.
We are. We've found a lot of our homeowners, our customers, have been having issues, and we came up with a way to solve the problem for them.
Okay, let's talk a little bit first about why the water in a crawl space is a problem. It is true, right, that we get a lot of that around here?
Yeah, we do. You know, most builders, when they build a home with a basement, they'll waterproof it, keep the water out. But with crawl spaces, they typically don't. And as a result, the water will infiltrate through the concrete block wall, which is porous, and it'll get in there. And most homes just don't have adequate ventilation to get, the air moving through to move it out. So once it gets in, it stays. And over time, it builds up to a point where it begins to have fungus and mold can grow under there, and it becomes a real unhealthy environment.
Okay, so it's one thing if you're building a house, you can think ahead and put in the investment to put that encapsulation in. But if you have an established home, do you have to first get in and dry everything out before you can encapsulate it? What's the process like?
Well, what we typically do is go in, if it's got insulation that's wet and it's damaged to the point it just can't be salvaged, we remove it. Once the insulation is removed, if there's fungus growing, we apply a product called borate and we kill the fungus. And if it's really bad, we can remove it. If not, if it's just, in the beginning stages, we can leave it on there, but it's now dead. It's not going to grow and, continue to feed on the wood fibers. Then we come in and encapsulate. We use 15 mil membrane. We put it down on the walls and on the floor of the crawl space and completely seal it. So if any water comes in, it's held behind and under the encapsulation. Then we put in a dehumidifier and it completely dries up the air. So we can take it from a 30 or 40% moisture content down to a healthy 8 to 10% and just completely change the environment in the crawl space.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you find people saying to you, man, ever since I've done this, I can't get over how much better we feel living in our home?
Yeah, we hear that all the time. People used to have musty smells up in their home. Those are gone. And they would have allergies. The children have runny noses, completely gone. So it makes a huge difference. Plus, keep this in mind, most people think their home has a certain value. Well, when you have something like that going on under it, that home could be unsellable. If you decide you want to sell it, you got to solve the problem first. So it's a big deal here in the Tennessee Valley.
Okay, I got to talk money with you a little bit, because obviously that's an awful lot of work you're putting into it. It's not an inexpensive improvement to do to your home. Do people finance this, Eric? Are they just having to pay for it all up at one time? How does that work?
Some people just write a check and pay for it. We do offer financing. We have it worked out with a finance company where we can do it at, very reasonable interest rates. But, the typical home is going to be in the $8,000 to $12,000 range to do it. But, if it preserves your property value, it's a very good investment in your home. And homes that have this already done sell very quickly.
Absolutely. Okay, back to the pest control side of things. I got a couple of minutes left. But if you do have water issues, besides the mold and the mustiness, aren't you going to have bugs coming into your house?
Yeah, that's the perfect environment for bugs, not only termites and things like that, but, crickets, spiders, centipedes, all the creepy crawly things you don't want in your house typically live under the crawl space. And when it gets cold under there, they move up into the warmer living space. So that's the number one breeding site in every home. And most pest control companies, their guys don't go under there. Our guys do. That's part of the program. We go under the crawl space and treat under there too. But most pest control companies don't. I think that's a big mistake.
So if people want to get in touch with you, when they call to make an appointment, should they mention their interest in getting an estimate on the encapsulation?
Sure. Just let us know you're interested in it. If you'd like to explore it a little further, we'll come out and do a free evaluation. We'll take wood moisture content readings with our moisture meter. We'll take photos. We'll let you know exactly what's going on under there. And if we don't think you need it, we'll tell you. You know, we don't want to sell you something you don't need. If we can solve the problem by adding more vents, we'll do that. If we can solve the problem by just adding a traditional vapor barrier, we'll do that. You know, but if we feel that, yeah, you do need an encapsulation, we'll let you know and go over the program, how it works, and the financing available, and see if it's the right fit for you.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, Eric. I know your son Paul was supposed to be here, but he's under somebody's house right now crawling through their crawl space.
He is.
Great to see you, Eric.
Thank you.
So it's volunteer Rid-a-Pest now with Encapsulation Kings. The same phone number for you to call, 698-7205. You can also go online to Chattanooga Crawlspace Encapsulation.com. We're back after this.
There's nothing quite like fall in the Tennessee Valley.